Time for a trip, baby. I'm on my way. That's no laughing matter, man. I'm on my way. Here we go. I'm on my way. Where you going? Where are you going to? Here we go. Talk to me. I'm on my way. Here we go. I'm on my way. Here we go. Talk to me, baby. Here we go. Keep to me tripping, baby. Here we go. Yeah. All right. I'm the fool, Frosty, going to school, so cold, looking to get from here to wow, swinging my arms with a little care, I don't really know what's coming my way, that's alright, 'cause it'll be okay, oh baby, and now, it's alright. Don't give it. And now, it's alright. I'm on my way. Alright. On my way. Everything will get stacked, baby. On my way. I'm on my way. For that G6. I'm on my way. Ready for that trip, man. I'm on my way. On my way.
Yeah. Sweet. Nice.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah. I figured I would bring us back to the beginning. That one was always relevant, I think. So welcome to
Thanks,
the
that
Fool's
was fun.
Journey.
I've often wondered if anybody took a moment to figure out what all those weird words were happening in the middle of this kind of freaky.
No, tell us. I didn't. It was going.
Well, no, that just sort of.
Oh, now it's the Easter egg. I got to go back and look for it. Right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go back and figure it out.
It is kind of a little treasure hunt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, and that, like those end shots that started here in Miami, in Hollywood, and ended up in Hollywood, California.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Death Valley, man, we got to cruise along there. One of my favorite places in the whole world. It is like going to another planet, and just the craziest way. And my favorite place is the place where it's called the racetrack, where the sliding stones are. And for the longest time, it was like this really dry lake bed, all cracked and everything, and then there'd be these gouges in it, and these big rocks at the end of it, so it looked like something had pushed.
Oh wow!
And no one could figure out what it was for just the longest time. There was aliens and telekinesis, and
did they ever figure it out?
Indian medicine man. So these two guys wound up hanging out and set up cameras and just recorded until they got it. And it turns out that every year the mountains are surrounding mountains completely ring this thing. So
Okay.
the melt comes down and makes this little mini lake every year. It's only like a foot or two deep.
Okay.
And it gets completely frozen because the desert at night is one cold bitch, man.
Okay.
And so anyway, the ice gets frozen over, and as the water starts to melt and the ice starts to melt, it starts to move, and it moves those stones
Wow.
as the ice flows are moving, which
That's
is
an awesome natural phenomenon.
it's crazy,
That's so
yeah.
cool.
And it is just the most magical place. There's like really intense things, and the little landmark at the beginning of the road to go down there is a volcano called Ubi Hebi.
What? Oh my God, that's hysterical. That's great.
Oh man, I used to design shoots there all the time, as many times as I could.
That's incredible, man.
So how's your week, Mr. Zen?
It's been an interesting week. I don't know if I had a 3 of a week. I know you said you were having a wonderful 3 week that you didn't want to end, and then you ended up in the 4s.
It did kind of go to the 4. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I think I might be along with you. The the journey continues day by day, so we're always going through these things. I am always full of hope and promise. You know me, so I'm always looking for the best. And
Well, that's good to do.
no, it's all about your attitude, right? The attitude that the mindset is the vehicle.
Well,
So.
yeah, okay.
Yes, indeed. How vague is that? Well, welcome, Audacious. I don't know if you're still out there, but I love your name, Audacious. You like
Hey, girl, what's up?
So here we are, another Monday. It's July 3rd now. We're in July, so we're past the midpoint of the year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Right? It's so crazy.
And today's kind of a crazy day. Well, happy, it's not July 4th, but happy July 4th,
Yeah.
And it's also the full moon.
Yes. I'm gonna go outside later.
It happens to be a full moon in Capricorn, which, oh man, it's been kind of a crazy thing because the actual sun sign that we're in is Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a whole different vibe than the Capricorn vibe. And the Capricorn vibe is all about like, man, no, a lot of stuff will come to fruition that you've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like a lot of looking over at the grass is greener kind of thing. And, wanting to trade something in for something better and like not really even realizing if it was better or not. And,
Right.
And this whole kind of thing, which also, curiously enough, reflects a huge aspect of the Four of Cups. So that's particularly strange too. But the Capricorn moon is very, very intense, and it's a really auspicious moon. It's a good moon, and the fact that things will start, like roadblocks will start to get undone, and things that you've been working on and waiting to come to fruition for a while will start actually clicking into place. So,
well, that's good news. Yeah,
that's super good news. Super good news indeed.
Yeah.
Have you done any full moon celebrations?
I haven't, but I plan on doing one tonight with my girlfriend, who is here tonight with me. So after the show, we're definitely going to go outside and bask in the moon and celebrate. I mean, if you've got a some sort of demo of a full moon ritual, that we can do.
You have a labyrinth anywhere around. Nothing can beat doing a labyrinth in the full moon.
Oh, really?
That is for sure.
Wow.
Yes.
You know what? I do think there's one actually in Sayville. I'm in Patchogue.
I thought Julie said there was one up there and there you go.
Yeah. That's only a couple towns over. That's
doing that in the full moon is so completely
so nice. Yeah, and it's so nice out, so I can definitely.
And if it's clear and you're really getting a really good full moon is like being out on an overcast day. It's so bright.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be a really really
Yeah.
cool.
I did some photos. Oh, I should dig them up for the next full moon. It was a full moon photo shoot, but I was doing long exposure, so it looks like it doesn't look like daylight quite, but it's lit up like it was daylight, and you can see the quality of the light is not sunlight. It's
Yeah,
so
I know. I love that.
yeah, it's really awesome.
And shooting that and infrared at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Woo!
that's probably cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
it's like another whole. It's like another universe altogether. It's really great.
Very cool. Very cool.
So we've got some coolness on the plate for tonight. We're going to get into some actual some real practice. I'm going to take a desire, and we're going to start from scratch and show you guys how to build a sigil.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I think that'd be really cool. So let's start with the Four of Cups up front and
Okay.
talk about that. Why don't you bring up that Mr. Zen? Why don't you
I'm
read the thing out of the manual?
I'm gonna bring up the image and read the card right now. So we've got the Four of Cups, and it says, "Wow, the morning after, things look really different, and not in a good way. You are depressed. You are in a depressed funk, and it keeps getting deeper. You're full of regret. Remorse fills your mind, and you just don't want to think about anything except how miserable you are. So now you've missed opportunities you could have grasped, and they become more barbs for your spear of despair. Stop being so self absorbed. You've directed all your emotions inward, and you have control. You are so focused on you, you won't even notice when new possibilities surface, or you'll blow them off as trivial because they will take too much energy to think about. Later, you realize they were exactly what you were looking for and add more regret to your pile. Oof, this is
Not a good card. No, no.
not my favorite card. Get outside yourself and your hurt feelings and go find someone you can help. Turn the energy flow from inward to out and emanate hope. It may be no small effort, but the reward is worth the price."
That is so true. It sucked up to there, but that's the way out.
Yes.
Getting out of yourself and going outside of yourself and your whole like trivial thing. The other thing about the Capricorn moon is like you buy your own stories. Like the people are so good at making up the like worst case scenarios in their mind.
Right.
I'm the master.
I like the idea of at the end there that stop focusing on your own depression and go help someone, and you'll get that light back. You'll get the
That's true.
I like
What's kind of funny about this card, if we go in order, it's like the ace is that initial stirring of like feeling like I'm open for love. And there's the two is when the lovers meet and fall in love and start this courtship. The three is the celebration at the wedding feast. And you got so drunk, you fucked up, like you insulted Aunt Edna, and you knocked over the cake, and now the next morning you're going, oh,
making out with the bridesmaids in
God,
front of everybody.
on kind of a serious note, though, one of the things that this card really represents when you get it in a reading is either walking away from a situation, but this also can really represent addictions. Of all kinds, alcoholism, drug addiction, that kind of thing. Overindulging in things that are supposed to be celebrations, but really are killing you, kind of scenarios. So whenever you see this, depending on what the other cards around it are, like if the Eight of Cups is with this, woo, get them to rehab really fast.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So it's pretty significant. It's a pretty significant card to pull.
It is a very significant card to pull. Yes, the thing about the fours in general is that once you get to the four starts to represent stability, and a stable form. We talked about the four corners of the celebration.
The temple, yeah.
Those, right? And that's a form of stability, and that those things are planted, and they're kind of like the foundation of that.
Right.
This is kind of a curious thing I was thinking about discussing with you earlier today. So let me just start this out here.
Let's do it.
And kind of think about the quality of what water is. Okay. Like, what does water do?
Water flows. Water.
Exactly, which is movement,
Yeah.
right? Which is counter to stability,
Ah,
right? So as
interesting.
you start to analyze this card, what the four is actually about, this is, what that actually is saying is a conflict. That whole water movement
In its whole
scenario
nature.
and the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
emotional thing is in conflict with
Right. With the nature of it. Yeah.
ability, right? And
Yeah.
if you think about emotions just in general, those are very destabilizing things.
Mhm.
You're reacting. I'm the master of overreacting,
Right.
reacting to shit I shouldn't be reacting to. It's like all there all the time.
Right. Right. Wow.
So that's kind of an interesting way to look at this as well.
Yeah, totally.
Can you
I
kind of
mean,
zoom in on this? I'd love to just
yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say, but I'm interested in what you're saying. Like the card itself is almost like a contradiction of itself, right? Just its own
well,
the nature of water versus the idea of
is
what's
in conflict with the four,
right,
is in conflict with stability and what the
right,
four represents.
right, right, right,
Yeah. Like that was not in conflict with the three and that whole scenario. That worked perfectly with that.
right,
But now, as we get to, because three was about celebration, which is what? An emotion.
right,
And there are emotions involved in this, but it's the fact that what took place and how you're feeling about that has upset the stability of the system.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the colors in
This
these.
character here, yeah, I love this character here. Whatever being it is.
Yeah, and the two little dancing or jumping figures in the center. Yeah.
Amazing, nice.
Yeah, and the fact that drops have just happened in the top of each one of those.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Very, very, very significant. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the words here. We've got disillusionment, apathy, weariness, disgust, aversion, and imaginary vexations.
Yeah. And before you scroll down, look at the very top cup and look at the planetary symbol in the middle of that.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
I don't know what planet. It's a
That
crescent
is the moon.
moon. Okay, I was going to say that, but I felt like it was
So
too
here we
obvious.
are on the full moon and that's going to be yeah, that's going to be really intense. Especially this card is going to be like really amplified for this show.
Okay.
Whoa! I'm thinking it
So,
happened last week.
strap in.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's just such an emotional little roller coaster that this thing could be on, and the whole like disillusioned. The problem with that mindset, it's almost worse than just really grief or like intense sadness. At least that's still an energetic state that you can change that thing and move that momentum in a different direction.
Right.
But there's energy going to begin with. When you get in this kind of like that apathetic like doldrums, there's just nothing happening, and trying to motivate that out of that was always somewhat of a challenge.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk about the Four of Swords.
All right, let's do that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's the sun, the discs, with the swords. Here we go.
And isn't this kind of curious? The four of wands are the four poles of the celebration tent. That's
Mhm.
where they were celebrating the three of cups,
Mhm.
and then the four of cups is the hangover after the celebration, and the four of swords is healing, removing yourself from the battle and taking a moment to
Rest,
recover.
prayer, convalescence. Yep, I see. Yep.
Yeah, in the original Rider Waite deck, there's a large raised bed and this knight that's laying on the bed, and he's obviously in a recuperating kind of position. So
Right, right,
it's this
right.
mode where they're getting better.
Nice. And what is this? is this what's this like texture in between? Is that smoke or
That
liquid
is
or?
smoke, yes.
Okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
cool.
tried to include the smoke in all of them, even if there weren't even in the water ones, if you look really
Mhm,
closely, there are little swirls of smoke
mhm,
going
mhm.
around it, and it gave it that weird kind of, grayish, silvery texture or
Yeah, I love the texture. It's like
yeah.
it's like a
I
slick.
didn't really change that in Photoshop or anything, that's the way
Right.
the shot looked,
And I
which
see faces in here as usual, different faces and totems, you know.
yeah, and do you recognize that symbol at the top?
I don't. I'm not good with the astrological symbols.
Yeah, you should get to know that one if
Okay.
no other ones, and that one's Saturn.
Saturn. I know Saturn is.
No, I take that back. That is
Oh,
Jupiter. I am so sorry.
oh. I was gonna say I
Fuck, what
know
am I thinking?
Saturn.
No, no, no.
So,
That
but
is Jupiter. That is
but
Jupiter. That is not Saturn.
so are
Wow, dude.
just out of curiosity. Hey, listen.
Brain fade, man.
Uh, uh, I know Saturn is very powerful. Is Jupiter also considered a powerful
Well,
one?
Jupiter is different in that,
Mhm,
you know, Saturn is about restriction and
mhm,
about like things being held accountable, adjustment, or justice kind of scenarios, bringing things into balance is kind of called the planet of karma sometimes,
mhm.
and Jupiter is about expansion. And Jupiter's not so much about like making something happen and growing it big, but Jupiter is about taking a small business that you've gotten off the ground and blowing that up.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Jupiter is also the whole jovial, like, happy, happy. Or a lot of people say that, but Jupiter also has his really not so nice side that don't people
Mhm.
don't talk about. And Saturn has a very nice side that if you are willing to like do your part of the bargain, really is way wonderful. I
Mhm.
can't believe I'm even saying that, but that's the truth.
Well, it must be true. You're the wizard,
Well,
so
it's true for me.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the Four of Pentacles.
Ba-boom. Oh, nice. I love the colors here.
Yeah, the Four of Pentacles really represents where, all right, the Ace of Pentacles is the beginning of new business.
Mhm,
The Two of Pentacles is where the idea happens and starts to take shape.
mhm,
The Three of Pentacles is where your work has paid off. You're recognized for your mastery in your craft, and
mhm.
you're getting a ton of money, a buttload of money. And instead of reinvesting that money and moving that money ahead, you get to the Four of Pentacles in a big chest, and you take all that cash and you stuff it in the chest and save it and lock it up. And now you can't really remember where the key is, and
Nope.
sometimes you lose your access to it.
Mm,
And also, money is part of a living system.
mhm.
It doesn't just sit there. You know, and if you allow it just to not not participate and move into the creative
Circulate. Yeah, yeah.
flow, yeah,
Mhm.
it winds up going away,
Hmm.
and then you're just left with nothing and no methodology for moving back into that. The story of the fool thing is that with the three has you've gotten to this point where you're now on the top of the heap as far as the professional like zone around, right?
Right.
You've now you're not the up and coming. Now you're the top of the heap. So now all the competition is there taking pot shots at you, copying your stuff and producing it cheaper.
Mhm,
All the
mhm,
stuff
mhm,
that happens there, right?
mhm,
So
mhm,
instead of aggressively attacking that scenario, you choose to kind of like try and find the safe place
mhm,
and make sure that doesn't go away. But that
mhm.
doesn't really work very well for the long term. That will work in the short term, but for the
Interesting.
long term, that doesn't really hold water. So that whole four thing, it's all about stability, and this is the one with the Earth, sign. So
Mhm,
of course, this is the most stable of all of them. You
mhm,
know,
mhm,
the four represents the square. The four represents the four corners.
mhm.
I call the solstices and the equinox the four corners. You
Yes.
know, Yeah, and it's about stability and about
And that's very significant in your life. You said this, the solstices.
those
And
are the ones that I really, that I really like look at as real holidays because for me, that there is a quality of the energy on the 2 days that are perfectly balanced and on the 2 days of the extreme of the shortest and longest
Mhm,
days.
mhm,
That
mhm,
real energy is happening and has been incredibly useful for like the winter solstices.
mhm.
Some of the most creative, inspired work of my entire life has happened
Yeah,
on
yeah,
them,
yeah.
including the deck.
Totally. That's awesome. So even though the four kind of isn't the greatest card, I guess the four of cups specifically isn't
Well, the four of pentacles, what I was really talking about was not hoarding, and
Mhm.
remaining in a system. The four says that you've gotten cash, and it's now the choice on what you do with it and how you move ahead
Mhm,
that will
mhm.
determine what the next step is. You
Right.
could reinvest it, you could go ahead and do that and make that money grow, or you could just leave it sit there and probably not really good things are going to happen, which
Right.
will check out into five.
All right, now we're like a Netflix show. It's like you want to
Yeah.
see the next one. We got to start doing some
So let me
clipping.
grab some liquid real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm loving this card. I think we still have the wands to look at. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think out there. You guys are pretty quiet today, so if anybody has any comments or you could chat with us live, or you could leave them in the comments. Any interaction that you guys have with us here at the Fool's Journey helps the channel in the algorithm and helps other people see it. So don't be afraid to say hello. Don't be afraid to leave a comment in the comments. And yeah, that's my PSA for the moment. So um, excuse
So
me.
before we move off the fours,
Well,
I
we
want to
still have
say
the
something.
wands. Did we look at the wands? We didn't look at the wands here.
Well, that's true. We talked about it.
Yeah. We didn't look at the
Yeah,
wands.
that's for the
So,
four corners of the celebration tent.
mhm,
So the four corners of the celebration tent, the morning after the celebration where everybody's wob, then the time where you need to recover and get your shit back together, and then you go and make a wad of money and stuff it away for later.
mhm, mhm. So,
All right, hold on.
yep.
So this is a cool thing.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Let me make you bigger here.
Whoa!
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yipes. Hold on a second. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Ooh,
Fluorite octahedrons.
wow. Fluorite octahedrons.
Fluorite octahedrons. Yes.
Holy moly. I don't
This
think
comes like this, right?
Mhm.
Grows like this. And fluorite, just as a mineral, grows in a square matrix, which I thought
So
made it.
that's natural. It's natural. That's how it's
Yes, it
hard.
is. There are some people that know how to cleave it and make it look like that, but all of the ones I have in here are natural. And it comes in all these really crazy cool colors.
Those are totally insane.
Yeah, these blue ones.
Wow, look at that. They
Pretty
kind of
cool.
remind me of this is going back now to my childhood, the Land of the Lost. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember it well.
Joe and the Slee Stack, they had these crystals, right, that they would put into these podiums to do stuff. I don't even remember, but that was like their thing. Yeah. Oh wow, that's what that reminds me of, those things. So, you're looking at the comments. I wanted to bring that up. Audacious totally agrees with you that the Four of Cups is to let money flow. Don't hold on to it. That's what I was taught, and I'm imagining she's talking about money there.
Exactly.
Jilly's in the house. Hola. And then those are beautiful. Get your shit back together when you dropped your fluorite octahedrons on the floor. And then you got what is the
You
blue
know,
one good for?
all of those fluoride in general is really great for mental things. And like I keep a nice little cluster on my desk around. It's for clarity and for being able to cut through down to facts and systems. And it's a really systematic thing, as represented by the way the clusters grow in these like structures that are almost like architectural cities, you know. So each one of those, depending on the color, like the yellow and the gold, super good for coming up with healing methodology.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily use that so much for the actual healing itself, but when I'm working, I work with gold energy a lot for
Okay.
healing. And different versions of the gold, and gold with different inclusions like little white specks and sometimes a lapis looking kind of thing. So depending on what the frequency of the person I'm working on, you know, I'll select that, and I'm thinking about a strategy, right?
Mhm.
Like I've been doing for someone we know, you and I both know, right? Even as we speak.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and yeah, I'll sit there with that. I'll sit there with that gold here, this one, and just meditate for a while, and just chew on different solutions and let go. You know, getting to blank space and not even trying for a little while.
Mhm, mhm.
When I come back from that and like plug back in again, I'm just sitting there and like all of a sudden just boom, oh, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, you know, so
Cool.
that's always really good. The
Interesting.
blue, you know, the purple's really great for, just like amethyst is, for calming things down and
Mhm.
finding, you know, that kind of scenario. The green is really good for devising money. It's really good for
Right,
growing
right, right.
things as well. For I've done some really crazy bonsai grafting things after I've been messing around with some of my green flora. I used to have a really amazing Chinese cluster, green Chinese cluster that
Right.
sat on my desk, and I got some of the best bonsai ideas out of that. So
Wow.
yeah, any kind of mental sort of stuff like that, give fluoride a char.
So, your my mind is really you just like opened up this weird channel in my mind, and I think we may have talked about it before, about the idea of the life force or the fact that crystals are living beings or another form of being, right? I guess, or have I mentioned
Well,
that
we've
to you?
talked about that. Yeah, they're not living. They're not like sentient and the way you and I are.
Right, right.
But, it, but they
It's
are, but they are alive. Let's put
right.
it that way.
Okay, so and that's exactly right. That's the reason I even brought it up, I think, is because I get very frustrated when people talk about life off of the earth, right? Like outer space, aliens, all of this stuff. And I'm like, because they talk about carbon-based life, right? And that, oh, this has to exist in order for life to be, right? And I'm just like, but no, that's life as we know it. There's life as we don't know it. So that's what I'm thinking when I'm
Yeah, but
thinking
that's
of.
what they're looking for, is life like us.
Right, right, but and that's because we don't really I don't think that we, can understand life like like what a crystal would represent as life. Like you said, it's not like life, our life, it's a whole different kind of existence, but there's an energetic force behind it. Let's put it that way,
That's
right?
true, and
That's what
it's
I'm
a
saying.
proven fact. This isn't just yak. That
Right, right,
crystals, quartz crystals, emanate piezoelectric energy. It's a
right,
very low grade of electrical current, but just in its natural state, it's emanating that.
right, right. So
And
again,
I mean,
that's
if
what
you
I'm
look at
saying.
the volume of things across the last 30 years that have, used quartz as like the center quartz
Mhm,
clocks, and like
mhm, mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
there's a billion things,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and that's because it's so. pure in its conductivity, and
Right.
and it's a great place to store stuff. Like charging that with your own energy, super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and we've talked about before the crystals that have the particular markings on the surfaces of that
Hmm. Hmm.
wind up being not so much communicative, but seem to be kind of like this little storehouse of information
Right.
that
Like
then winds
data.
up reacting to my storehouse
Right.
in
Right. Right.
a
Right.
crazy way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just again, so I just think that's so fascinating
Have you
to
ever done any work with fluorite?
no. No, I've never really done a lot of work with crystals at all. I'm just kind of feeling, this idea. And I kind of always have, in trying to explain to people like, hey man, carbon-based life forms is not like the be all end all. There's other ways to look at it. The first thing I think about is crystals, and just the way a lot of people that I know relate to crystals and the things that they think about crystals and say about crystals. I personally don't like collect them. I have a small collection of crystals people have given me that I definitely feel like, when I focus, I can feel that energetic transfer, the reason they gave it to me, and all of those things. So that's where I'm at with crystals. But
So when you think of crystals, you think of quartz crystals.
no, not just no, no, no. Like the fluorite that you just showed, all sorts of formations like that. Like
Yeah.
crystals more on a molecular level of, the repeating pattern of crystals. This is what I'm talking about, by the way. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome.
Dragon's tooth calcite.
Nice.
Woo! Look at that.
That's awesome. Look at that.
That's some sweet stuff.
I love that.
So,
This is what I was talking about, by the way. I don't know if that refreshes your memory at all, but the Slee Stack had these podiums with all these different colored crystals that they would, put into place, and they would light up, and that was like their control of stuff. It was like, but anyway, I just
digress.
I digress. We went way that way. But
Well,
that's all good.
I thought in the four is all about the square, So what better time than to utilize one of those planetary squares on the cards and show you exactly what to do with those. I mean, they're nice little chunks, squares of numbers, but how do I actually make that into something? So we're going to do a sigil tonight.
Cool. You want me to bring
And
one card?
do you happen to have any particular thing that you want you'd like to know about, a particular need that you might have relatively quickly? You don't have to. I've got a back, but I mean, if you had something, and it doesn't have to be real for you. I mean, I know.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly do, and it's something that's very current that I'm, kind of addressing and dealing with and trying some different things and open to. Do I need to say it out loud, or do you want me to just think it in my
Well,
head?
part of the most crucial part of this is actually figuring out how to take what you want and make a good sentence to
Okay.
start with.
Okay.
So I was going to start with, that, and I could use a hypothetical if you'd rather not really use your real scenario. Is it sensitive?
It's not sensitive. I mean, it's something that we've talked about, I think, before here. I feel like I kind of I got
Okay, we're
stuck.
not going to be asking a question about it.
Okay.
This is about affecting what you want to have happen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So why don't we start there if you're good with that? What
Yeah.
is it? What is it? What is the and sigils are best done as singular bumps, bumps, bumps. If it's a complex thing that requires many of those, that's where you hear me talk about a construct. That's a compilation of many different sigils, all working in their own little piece of it towards a unified goal. So
Okay.
how about if I throw one out right
All
now?
right. Let's do it that way.
All right. I'm a broke motherfucker and I've got bills coming up and I need $500 by the end of the week. Okay. All right. So how do you craft that statement? You want to be really direct, and you want to be as succinct as possible, and you also want to try to take into account not leaving any room for possibility of fuck up in this. Okay. Perfect example. I used a mantra when I was losing weight and walking, and it was, I want to lose 120 pounds really quickly. Okay, if I just left it at that, the universe doesn't really take into account how you're going to like it or what's going to really be fun for you. It takes into account ergonomically the most efficient way energetically to get to that desire, which could have been me getting a leg cut off.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking.
So at the end of that, I put my desire, and it makes me super happy and healthy, body, mind, and soul. So like every one of those was asking for a specific thing, but asking for it in a particular way that'll get you what you want and not backfire on you. Okay. All right. So let's see. Oh man, my phone.
Oh yeah.
Jumped out of the.
It looks like it went black. Yeah.
Oh, dude. That's bad.
It's all good. So I just noticed as Brian is trying to get his phone back. It looks like it came back on, Brian. I noticed that Tarot Destroyer jumped into the comments, and I kind of hit ban, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have left that, because he was just typing letters, and I was like, hey, any interaction in our chat room actually increases our algorithm. I should have just let him blabber. Him or her or whatever Tarot Destroyer might be. But so I think I put you in timeout, Tarot Destroyer, but if you come back, feel free to blabber and help us with our algorithm. That would really be cool. So Brian is setting up his
I'm having lots of technical difficulties.
He's having lots of technical difficulties, but I guarantee that once we're past those technical difficulties, we will be in a good place. I see the camera. Yep, I got you. So we're learning how to write.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a sentence, and the sentence will be, my need to have $500 by Friday. Okay? And we're gonna write out 500. So I'll start with that.
Okay. Oh, I thought that was on a table. Wow, I didn't realize you were up on the wall like that. Cool. Let's do this. Excellent demo, Brian. I love it.
Okay. All right. My need to have $500 by Friday. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this, and I'm going to cipher out all the letters that repeat more than once. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, if you see me, I'm going really fast. So if you see
no, you got the F's in Friday and the F in 5.
Okay. F in Friday. Yeah, I'm kind of going in order.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, there's a T, H.
You got the O and 2 and dollars. The D. Yeah, I could see the bigger the sentence you have, the more eliminations you'll have. Yeah, you got the R. Looks like you got TUSB left.
Oh, we've got M,
Oh, M. Yep.
T,
Yep.
U, S, and B. Okay. Damn it. Okay. M, T,
Yep. USB.
S, B. Okay, something to do with a USB drive. Okay, Mr. Zen, would you pull up the Sun card?
I will pull up the Sun card. Yeah.
And at the very bottom of the Sun card is a square of 9 numbers. That is the planetary square of the Sun, which for this particular need would be a really, really great thing to use.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so why don't you read me those letters from the upper left corner across?
Okay. I've got it's numbers. It's 618.
Exactly.
753.
Exactly.
And 294.
294. Okay. Interestingly enough, the thing that makes this a magic square is that in every direction, these columns add to 15, which also happens to be my soul number, which is another reason I like it very much.
Okay.
So, yeah. And even the diagonals add up to that. A really crazy good, powerful symbol. Okay, so what happens is we are okay, here, let me do this. Numerology is super simple. Like people make it really difficult or it sounds really esoteric and scary, but it's ridiculously easy.
Okay.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, T, U, V, C. All right. So anytime you see this number, one of these letters, you find the number at the top of the column that relates to.
Gotcha.
There's a more complex way to do it, but this and relates to exactly where it is in the 26 letters. But this works really great. So what we're going to do. Okay, so that's 4, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we're going to make our little square here that doesn't have those in there. We go number 4. Okay, that starts there. So draw a little circle, and that will begin. And you want to make a line that is uninterrupted. So 4, 2, 3, 1. Oh. Yeah, 2. Sorry, my bad. So it's like this, boom, 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 boom. So that's now your sigil.
Cool.
Okay, so that now, what that really is you've taken all of your consciousness, you've taken your attention, you've taken your intent, and you've now condensed that desire down into this particular graphic shape. All right, and let's just add this up just for giggles. That's 4 and 2 is 6, 9, 10, 12. That's a really, really good number. Okay. So what will happen from here? All right, talk for a second. I'm going to get the sugar and actually make the sugar signal.
Okay, awesome. So, for just for people, I hope hopefully everybody's following along. And I can't use my mouse on the symbol to point to it, but basically the sentence was broken down into numbers. Sentence was broken down into the letters that remained that hadn't been duplicated. So that ended up with the MTUSB. Those were the only letters that weren't duplicated. And then those were translated into numbers using the numerology chart that Bryan created up on the right hand corner there, the 1 corresponding to the A, the 2 and the B. And then the numbers that resulted, MTUSB, was 42312, which was then traced on this grid of numbers that was on the Sun card. I'm not really sure. Bryan's going to have to remind me why that particular grid was chosen. I guess that's related to astrology. Not really sure, or maybe using the power of this particular card, the Sun. And that's how we came up with the symbol. And now Bryan is, I believe, preparing some sand so that we can draw the
Okay, I was looking for my charged up sugar, and I would use a sugar sigil in this particular
sugar. Okay.
But what I did, I used flour as a substitute, and I just dusted this so that it's a very thin but even dusting of it, so it just looks like a coating of snow. And with the energy exercises that we've talked about, gathering your energy in your solar plexus, sending and thinking about the intent of the sigil, repeating the line over and over and over in your head. With your hand, with your right hand, if that's your projective hand, take your index finger and actually draw the sigil.
In the order that the numbers are. Yeah. Great.
Right?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. Then past that, once that's sitting there, if you're able to generate enough energy when you're drawing the sigil, all good. If not, focus on this sigil and be pouring as much energy as you can into it. I use a really bright blue crackly energy a lot. And you just keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring it in. And you can actually, if you do it right, you can actually see the blue glow happening with it. And you can tell it's actually charged.
Wow.
Once you know it's actually charged, then you, just like we do, moving the rod around in circles, you grab the sigil with your energy and you actually elevate it out of the little sugar thing and let it sit there. And here's again the spinning, and you spin the shit out of it, man, until it's just going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
Okay, now that's launched, and that's how you've actually charged the sigil. What's left is the sugar and the shape of the sigil in there, and there's a really good way to tell whether it worked or not. You could take it out into your lawn or outside and leave it, and if the creatures come and eat it, you know it worked. And if it's still there exactly the way you left it, you know you need to redo it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So let me put this up. So that's sigils.
That's awesome. I love it. And I gotta say, very interestingly enough, so as I was thinking of what my sigil could be and what my sentence can be, it was totally related to my financial situation. Exactly what you not exactly what you said. So you actually, I think being more general in my mind, and then you made it a more specific urgent situation, right?
The sigils, the thing that's great about sigils, and the reason I use them as kind of like everyday things, is it's not this big fluffy kind of generality. wish
It's
list.
very specific. Yes.
Like, yeah,
Said
my
that before,
tire.
yeah.
I need new tires.
Yeah. So interestingly, that was when you started saying that was going to be the one you made up. I was like, oh, that was financial, and then you were very, very specific about it. I was like, oh, okay, now I see. I should think more specific. You said I need $500 by Friday, which is not necessarily the case that I need $500, but I do need a better outlook, I need more cash flowing in my life, right? And it just so happened that last night, my friend Popo came by, who I've been working with and doing some work for, and gave me a check for $500.
What? So, bro, I need $500. Send it down.
There you go. No, but like it was just like, oh my god, that's exactly what I was thinking, and it was like it already came true. It's awesome. Are you the one that needs the $500? That was your sigil for you. That's funny.
Too funny.
Totally awesome, man. Totally awesome. You are in so many ways the Wizard of Odd. I mean, it's beyond amazing that you live up to that name the way you do, the way you just pulled out that box with those fluoride, what are they called? Fluoride octagons,
Yeah, octahedrons.
octahedrons. Oh my god. I mean, who of my friends would have that other than my wizard friend?
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's why it's an oddcast. We need to start calling them those.
I love it. I love it so much.
Oddcast,
And
yeah,
Jessica's out there saying hello. What's up, Jessica? Happy birthday. I know it was your birthday the other day. Friend of mine I saw.
Happy
So
birthday.
let me come back here and remove that. And wow, man, we've done another oddcast for sure. It's always a pleasure spending an hour with you on Monday and doing this and learning some things and feeling energy and all of that stuff. So I'm looking forward to the day we actually spend some time physically in the same space, and
Yeah, I want to light paint.
we can give each other a hug. That would be awesome.
Oh, dude, how about some of the light paintings, the new light paintings?
Oh yeah, all right, cool. Let's show those.
Go out on.
Yeah. So we got some new wonderful work here. I'm going to share this. This is not the right item yet, but as I put these in here, we'll go through them. So light paintings, new light paintings from Bryan.
There we go.
Awesome, very awesome. So do you want to talk about these, or you just want me to go?
Well, this was kind of like two energetic entities like connecting, and the reach outs, across the center, between the two globs, the spinning globs. Yeah, there's that, and I'm really digging this this crazy tool.
Got a new tool. Jilly is out there saying group hug for sure. Jilly, yes, we got to get down to Sebring and Seajoint.
I've been digging this thing so much, man.
So that's a customized one. That's with the purple and the blue. Is that customized?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't really use anything straight out of the box anymore.
Yeah. Julie says she loves the umbilical. Yeah, that is kind of umbilical like.
There's a couple more. Let's go about a couple.
Yeah, let's go.
I love that one, man. Just this whole like fence around the room.
That's what I was going to say. I love the way you're using the space there, the whole space for this image. That's really cool. Awesome. And then also this one, how you're using the mirrors in this one is pretty cool. And what do we got here? Nice glass table. I love the reflections in the table. That's so cool. It's like it almost looks like an amulet. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's very cool. Let's see what we got here. Oh,
I love this one, man. I so love this one.
That's so cool, man.
Like the circulating plasma disc.
Yeah, and I also love like the 3D, the depth of it. 3D. It's not just like a flat, drawing. It's like I love that you're starting to do
and layers to it. There's like 3 or 4 layers of it.
Nice. Okay. Oh, I don't know which one I was up to. Oh, here we go. These are actually cool. So now we're starting to add some mysterious figures into the mix, and I love the texture. Look at the texture on the wall there. That's like So cool, that stucco texture. It's just like, let's see what else we got here. Another one like that, man. Look at that.
Yeah, a little Shiva action.
Wow, look at that. Total multi-dimensional being there. Holy moly.
Really like that one.
And look at this. I love this little symbol here. That's cool too.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
I've gotten more little messages just randomly. I like that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Go check out the Fool video, dude.
Oh yeah, I gotta go back. I'm gonna check that out. This one's pretty cool. This is like a mask
selfie, yeah.
Selfie?
That's a selfie with the black fiber optics.
Oh my god, look at that. Look at the you could see the facial structure in there. That's like so freaking cool. And I think
I think there's one more in there. Yeah, that's cool. There's one more after this too. I love this one though.
All right, we got one more, and then there's also
that one.
Look at that.
There we go.
Awesome. That is really
Let
awesome.
there be light.
Let there be light. And then there was one other image in here that I just thought was a cool image, which was, I guess, just showing.
You know, dude, this. Oh my god. This is the worst reading I've ever pulled.
Wow.
And then in that first column, there's the Emperor, which is okay, but then it's the 9 of Swords, the 10 of Swords. Then in the water column, it's the 5 of fucking Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, absolute heartbreak. Well, that column starts with complete and total destitution, arguments and fucked upness in every direction, and total heartbreak.
Wow.
And then, oh man, I mean, it's just
that's so funny because, like, I'm looking at this and the way you're describing it. I'm just like, you did this reading and you're like, oh my god, I got to take a picture of this. None of my wizard friends will believe it.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah, because you're like, that's what you're seeing, all of that chaos and all of that emotion that's tied to all these cards because of your connection with the tarot.
So, it wasn't just that. Okay, we go over to the air column. It's the 9 of Cups, which is cool. The Fool, which is kind of cool. Then you get to the 9 of Wands, which is, man, you know, it's opposition by an unopposable force. Oh my god. And then you get to the Magus, but then you got the 7 of Swords, and that's just fighting and fighting and fighting, and then deception and thievery and deception and lies. And then the last card is the 8 of Cups, which I talked about earlier today, and that's just a moment you walk away. and then later I did another check a little while after that, and I pulled the Devil card up in the left-hand corner, and up above that I did a rune reading, which was the ice giant's Thorn.
Wow. Oh my god. Jilly's saying, dare I ask what was the reading for?
No, you dare not.
You dare not. All right, well, let's try to end this show on a positive note. What do we got to look forward to next week with the 5? Something good?
No.
You know what? That seems to work too. People that seems to get ratings.
No. I wish I could tell you it was great. The 5 of Cups sucks ass. I hate that card.
All right. So next week.
But it's not all despair. The 5 of Cups is about looking at a situation that looks like it could really be horrible, and there's been some spillage, but everything is not gone, and there's a whole chunk of it's worth putting your attention towards and growing something new. And then we get to the 6s, which are all good. Woohoo!
All right. Well, let's hope we can get through next week and make it to the 6s. Next week.
Maybe we'll skip the 5s. What do you say?
Next week is going to suck ass, guys. So just as long as you're prepared, we should all be
buckle
fine.
up.
We should all be fine.
Stay
with
patient. Get a big bag of herb and
all right. Well, I'm gonna go enjoy a nice pre-4th of July dinner with my girl. And
sounds good, man.
I will.
Always good to share time with you.
Yeah, man. I will see you next week.
Jilly, love you. Good to see everybody that showed up.
We love you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Adios, folks. See you next week.